Bitcoin broke $24,000 a few hours ago, hitting immediate macro resistance. In this video, I want to discuss every scenario you need to be prepared for in the short to midterm, including an hourly chart with a breakout target to $26,000. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like on the way in. It truly does mean a lot to me as we grow this YouTube channel. Let's jump into the Bitcoin charts. Here we go. Weekly chart. It's pretty much my favorite chart. We talked about the other day, when Bitcoin was just cruising up here, and here we can just visit the 6 hour chart. When Bitcoin made this move the other day through $23,000, we talked about Bitcoin really we could say Bitcoin hit this macro target that we had sitting around $24,000, but it's even more true right now, today. Bitcoin has truly, if you look at the 6 hour chart, hit that macro target. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But I want to really dig into what's going on here on the hourly chart. A lot of interesting things. And before I do, I tweeted this just a little bit ago. I'm genuinely thrilled for all of you out there who are seeing gains across the crypto sphere. It really is too cool, everybody. So congrats to you if you're seeing gains in Bitcoin, your altcoins, whatever it is. So let's start this technical analysis. Let's dig into the hourly charts. Let's talk about that $26,000 target and more by starting with this very quick clip from 2 days ago. Is right around 2350 to 23,500 to 23,200. That area, if Bitcoin can manage to get back up there, test that area and break through, we could have another powerful move to the upside. So Bitcoin trading around 22,700 almost when I did that, right? And let's talk about that right now. So this is the move. This is an hourly chart. Bitcoin is just going, like if you look at a 6 hour, it gets tough to chart even on a 6 hour. So to really track Bitcoin right now in the short term, we're using the hourly chart, which is, something I seldom do on this YouTube channel. But here we go. This is that channel that I talked about the other day in that video. Now you can see Bitcoin broke through that area, and that could be the very first hint that Bitcoin is getting ready to make, and the $24,000 move is nice, but Bitcoin may be getting ready to make now a very powerful move to $26,000. And technically that is in play from just a charting perspective. So a couple different things happening here on the hourly chart I would like to discuss. Number one, let me just draw the line of this resistance area that we just broke, just so that we can reference that in a second. So just drawing a couple lines, I want to get rid of the Fibonacci so that we can see the chart a little bit better. And there's the resistance area. Now you can see Bitcoin, we made that upside move the other day, close to $24,000. And then we fell into an ascending triangle that you can see on the screen, really breaking through the upper trend line here, almost 75%. It looks like, I didn't measure it, but probably close to 75% to the apex of the ascending triangle. Just a really nice looking move. The target for that, just slightly above $24,000. Bitcoin really pretty much hit that target, just slightly below. And you can see right now Bitcoin on the hourly chart, a little consolidation. So two resistance areas have occurred. Number one, this breakout target of this very short-term ascending triangle. And don't forget, everybody, this hourly move translates to this weekly chart. Bitcoin finally hitting this macro target resistance. And now it is official. Like the other day, it was kind of give or take, right? But this today is official. Bitcoin has hit that macro target. So we have a macro and a micro target being hit. Bitcoin seeing some resistance. And if Bitcoin can manage to maybe on the short term consolidate here, depending on what the setup is, I don't know. We're going to have to track this hourly chart. But Bitcoin can definitely see continuation to the upside with this upper trend line here. Now in play from this first touch back here, December 17th. And we have this rising channel that you see on the charts and a $26,000 breakout to the upside. Now, what I want to say is you have to keep in mind there's not many touches in terms of these trend lines. So there's a lot of room for short-term consolidation. This is an hourly chart, but this can go on for a couple days. But we have, we have this swing low. We have kind of this first touch back here. We have this higher low. We have this higher low. And actually, that's barely a higher low, but we have this higher low, and we look for continued higher lows. And what we have now for a potential higher low, not only is the trend line itself, but we have this area, which is now the apex of the ascending triangle Bitcoin has broken out of. So short-term consolidation could bring us down to the 22,000s once again. $1,000 dip for Bitcoin, 100% in play on the short term. For me, that's not really, any type of immediate buy or anything like that. That's not a buy the dip scenario. It's only a 4% move or so to the downside. It's in play. You want to anticipate that for a continued setup, breakout to the upside. This, just because we're testing an upper trend line doesn't mean a move is coming through the upper trend line, right? We can consolidate. A throwback to the apex of the ascending triangle makes a lot of sense. Now, here is that Fibonacci resistance we recently broke through, right? That $23,500 to $23,200 area. That is our immediate support now, previously resistance. If Bitcoin comes down and tests that area and bounces back off, that is the biggest cue, that is the biggest signal that Bitcoin might be getting ready to break out sooner than later through that upper trend line. So a couple scenarios to the downside. I mean, there's really not a lot of room. Remember, this is like a 4% move down here to that Fibonacci retracement. We're looking at, it's like a 1 to 2% move, and that's the upper trend line of the ascending triangle as well. So that's our short-term support. You want to keep an eye on it, just especially as Bitcoin's making a move right now, a little bit slightly to the downside. So how will Bitcoin consolidate in here? I have no idea. That is why we watch the charts, we watch the technicals. Now, a lot of this translates, everybody, to dip scenarios. And, this is the upside scenario. $26,000 in play for continuation for Bitcoin. Is it going to hold true? This whole thing about the supply shock, and there's more demand than supply. PayPal alone, right? Buying all the Bitcoin that's coming into circulation, right? And that is really a big explanation of what's going on here in terms of Bitcoin just staying in overbought, and it's just not dipping. Will that continue? We're going to continue watching. It very well could, but will there be an area or a time when Bitcoin is kind of time to consolidate, right? Even markets are kind of like, okay, maybe demand slows down for a short period of time and Bitcoin consolidates. How will the markets react to that? How will new people in the markets react to that? The fear that might be instilled in a move like that. The dip scenarios are so very real. You have to be prepared for them. I know there's a lot of people out there that I don't think really are. They think Bitcoin's just going to keep going. They're going to continue buying all of these swing highs, and that's fine. I continue to maintain my stance that I will be buying the dip, and because I think a dip will come. Now, in terms of the dip itself, there's just so many different factors we continue to update, we continue to track. If you look at right here let's actually start on the daily chart. I want to start on the daily chart. An important area for me always to just consider, to keep in mind, is that 50-day moving average. We talk about it so often. Bitcoin kind of pulling back down, consolidating into that area. And you can see, not even that long ago, end of November, Bitcoin had a big dip because Bitcoin was consolidating sideways into that area, the 50-day moving average. Now, simultaneously, Bitcoin tested the top of the bull market doors. That area, I think, is still in play. And it sounds crazy, a $26,000 Bitcoin, but it's just one of those just capitulation in a continued uptrend scenarios where it happens very fast and then it continues to the upside. It's in play, right? So it's just an extremely heavy buy zone. But above there, we have other areas now, everybody, and I want to discuss this. So in terms of dips, this is back, and I want to just paint this story for you. This is back in 2017. Bitcoin broke through the bull market doors, similar to what we just did, right? This time around, came back down. We anticipated a similar move. It never happened, right? Bitcoin keeps going, and people, I would just want to tell this story. celebrating right here. You know why? Because Bitcoin's breaking 1,200, Bitcoin broke $1,300. And if you zoom out on the chart, we're talking Bitcoin was just breaking all-time highs in a way in which it's never done. Now, doesn't that sound familiar, right? And if we go to a weekly chart, what has just happened? If we zoom out on the chart and we look at the all-time high of 2017, this is exactly what just happened. And if we even chart the same exact bull market doors, right? This is what it looks like. Bitcoin just very overextended from those bull market doors. We're putting in this $24,000 swing high. People are celebrating just because we have this new, just crazy all-time high, $24,000. And it looks very similar to what was going on back here. Many people then probably never anticipating that Bitcoin would fall back below the recent all-time high from 2013. And let me just make sure you can see this. People probably not thinking, now that Bitcoin's sitting at 13,000 plus, Bitcoin's going to fall back below the all-time high from 2013. And it did. It revisited those bull market doors, the 786 line. So you have to, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you have to, in your mind, prepare for a similar scenario. I don't think anybody's I think most people are thinking Bitcoin, it blew through on this weekly candle. This happened in a week, basically. It blew through the all-time high of 2017. And I don't think a lot of people can envision a world in which Bitcoin is actually below that area. And I can. I see the possibilities. And it's not because I think it's definitely going to happen, but it's just a very real possibility that it could, in terms of where Bitcoin is on the charts, where it is technically, overbought, all that good stuff, what it's done historically, a move to, at the very least, test that area, right? And we're talking right around that $20,000 area is just very much in play. And so those play into the accumulation factor, and it's only a 15%, 16% dip. That can happen in hours, everybody. So just, hold on tight if it happens. Don't be surprised. If anything, probably become a little bit more bullish. I would probably become more bullish. It's hard to dissect the hourly charts and just keep giving room for upside for Bitcoin, even though technically it's there from a pattern perspective. Continuation is definitely in play. We talked about it. Be prepared for it. But you have to also consider the downside possibilities that are synergistic with historical performance and historical data of Bitcoin. So that's in play as well. At the end of the day, we are where we are. Bitcoin's moving. Altcoins are moving. Let's continue to enjoy the gains. That's kind of where I am. I make no moves unless we get a dip. And so will we get a dip? I don't know. I'd be very happy if Bitcoin never dips again and we go to $100,000. But always be prepared for that downside scenario. This is my update for today. It was fun looking at the hourly chart. Let me know your thoughts. Can Bitcoin break through on the hourly chart, this upper trend line area? Can we break to that $26,000 target? It can happen quick. You see what has happened in the last week alone. Let's see if this can continue. Appreciate all of you cruising by. I really do. By the way, one announcement real quick. Block Gains. I don't know if you can see my shirt. Go download it if you haven't. Put a link below. But update is already out for Android with lock screen, bunch of other additions and features. iOS hopefully will be approved today and launched today. And we're working on version 2, everybody. Price alerts, fiat currency pairs, all like just a ton of awesome stuff. So thank you for your patience with the Block Gains app. I appreciate your support as we build this thing. We're really bootstrapping this, and we're growing pretty quick with the app. So I appreciate your support. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.